Ooh, let's go. Hello, welcome everyone. Another Friday. Uh, it's been a while. It's it's been a while since I was back here. Many things happened. Christmas, holidays, New Year. I hope you've been fine. Between live stream festival, because I can now stream same voice. Ah, let's do it later. Not gonna lie, I feel very tired today for some reason. I have no clue really why, but just something that is. I kinda glad I'm back. It's been weird not streaming, not sharing. I've been itching to read a book finally to finish the entire thing and just give me closure over all the effort and everything I put into it, or just the enjoyment of it. Just to be fair, when I started the audiobook project, when I started, like, reading over and over stuff, like, beginning of the book isn't really too encouraging to keep reading. It's not, doesn't really have anything. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, I remember what I forgot. Give me a minute. I just looked on the other screen. I see the VTuber being dead. So I'm working on fixing that at the moment. As I said, it's been a while. It's been absolutely... it's been a while, so... Interesting. Where do you go? Here? Maybe, possibly. Yeah, I can move. Sure, that's fine. That's not good, though. I might have closed eyes for the entire duration of this thing. But we'll see. A few worrying things that also the voice of Shadow will be difficult. Because from what I realized that the voice doesn't really capture that well in the microphone, the setup I already have. But yeah, again, we will see everything during. I hope you'll like it. Before, because there was a month break from the last chapter, so we'll do a quick recap of the story. A very brief, few sentences. If you are interested, what I can do is... Actually, no, I won't do this. Have fun, find it on your own. On my channel there is a playlist with... That's not a bad idea to have it pinned in the comment somewhere. I will do so later. Sorry, yawning. Again, I'm tired, my hips hurt, my back hurts, I can barely straighten myself. It's not fun. I've popped today and I've been bleeding profusely for the last few hours, so yeah, it's been fun. I have to say it's been fun. Like last few days with this music. Uh, this will be what we will listen to. I wonder if there is a... No. Ah. Aptus either, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, quick recap of the story, because I already forgot what I was talking about. We started to trauma dump. Simple story. Yuki, Miku, and her friends, Amy and Jane, became students of the Youth Ops Academy for specially gifted people. The people that can command influence. Jane has red power, Amy has red power, Jane has green power, correlating to the element. Green's nature, red is fire. Miku has diamond, which is everything, and Yuki has nothing, which is presumably nothing. The influence also changes the shape of the body, so you don't really need exercise. You are in your perfect best shape and form forever. Like you're pinnacle, like you are the best human that you can ever be physically. Also, hair and eyes resemble your element. So Amy has red hair and eyes, Jane has green. Yeah, so on and so forth. Yuki is sick with an unknown sickness, and for some reason colors of Miku's eyes not really changed. The one of her eyes remained amber. Anyway, what happened last episode is Miku, Amy, and Jane got attacked in the alleyway by Seth and his goons, and an unknown force repelled them. At the same moment, Yuki got very sick, panicked at the lab where he was tested by Miss Richards, and lost consciousness for some reason. And Miss Richards also had some bad dreams during that day. And we are starting off right after that. I am well prepared for the reading. I can say that. I prepared for the reading. I read this part 6 or 7 times. 6, 7. But yeah, I read it many times. The stress will still eat me, and I will make many mistakes. But that's fine. That's the learning process. My thoughts were... It's kind of unfortunate, to be honest, because I stopped in the kind of weird spot. Like, it's not interesting yet, because exactly at this point, everything starts to accumulate, and that's also, I feel like, my failure in planning and writing. Like, there is no hook early. But maybe there is, but it's weak. Like, you don't really care about Yuki and his sickness, because why would you care about someone you don't know? And the relationship also doesn't really work, but now the hook's getting stronger, like the relationship between sickness and everything happening, new characters, new plots. And this is the part of the story that gets me excited, like it's very, very happy. I like reading this. From this point on, it's very fun for me to read and create. You know, maybe I could have done better job earlier. Maybe, but it's too late for that now. It's a lesson learned. It's something that I will keep in mind for the future. And we will see about that. Maybe in half a year when I publish the second part. If I don't do certain actions that would prevent me from doing so, but that's impossible to predict for anyone. It's even impossible to know what I'm talking about if you don't know what I'm talking about. Which is something I also didn't say. Anyway, oh yay! I'm already getting stressed. I haven't started reading and I'm already getting stressed. I hope the voices won't be too cringy. I'm really trying and doing my best to keep the voices distinct and to make them feel fitting for the characters. I think I'm doing a decent job, knowing I have no experience in this field. But yeah, you're the one to judge. Anyway, let's kinda go. It will take about 30 minutes again. Maybe a bit longer. We'll see. Maybe I would ask if the music is not too loud, but who would I ask is the question. With that being said, let's go for the reading. With another fun, start recording. And that would be freaking amazing to record what I have to do. With another thunder, she woke up again, this time covered by a cold sweat, lying alone in her bed. Dazed, she quickly organized her thought, realizing it was just a weird dream. Birds chirping outside and rambling coming from the kitchen, she looked at the screen on the opposing wall. 8:13 a.m. It was well into the morning. She had slept through the night. With school starting at 10, she had to quickly start preparing to arrive early and bring Yuki back so he could also get ready. She got up and walked to the kitchen to see what was going on. Good morning. I'm sorry, but I used your kitchen. Do you want some coffee? Yuki? I'm sure. She said as she sat at the small table in the corner while her student poured her a cup of hot beverage. Looking around, she noticed a plethora of different dishes prepared and packed into 3 see-through containers. When did you wake up to make all of this? Around 4 a.m, I think. I've seen you had some bad dreams, so I moved you to the bed. Sorry if that worried you. No, it's okay. I'm the one who should be sorry. I should be watching over you and fell asleep. I said that before. I'm fine. You don't need to worry about it. But yesterday... Stop. Yuki stopped her with a stern tone of voice. You remember what I said before I passed out? Wanting to ease your mind, I agreed to your test, but I didn't consider many things. He stopped for a moment, thinking about what to say next. We should just let it go for the time being, until a better way is discovered. Why? If we figure out what happens, maybe I can help you get rid of it. I know the details of the test from before. None of the draws were during the incident, so that might be a breakthrough. Problem is, There's no breakthrough to be had. I know what is going on, and several other people know too, but whatever I, or anyone else does, I cannot be helped for now. I wish I could tell you more, I really do, but it's beyond me. The best you can do now is to forget it ever happened. Easy to say that, but working in this facility, she knew there were many things happening she didn't have clearance for. I guess there is no other option but to trust you, huh? She asked, and blew on the cup of hot coffee. Then promise me, if there is something I can help you with, you will let me know. Of course. After all, you are part of this because of my mistake. This coffee is delicious, Miss Richards exclaimed with excitement, sipping from the cup. So, who is this lunch for? This. I always do an extra lunch just in case. I know Seth won't bring his own. Oh, and one is for you, since I took so much of your time and energy. For me? You didn't have to. The cafeteria has a lot of good meals, and it's free for the staff. Well, it's too late now, so just accept it. For a high schooler, he acts a lot more mature than other kids, but they were taken from all over the Federation, all with different stories and experiences. Rich, poor, neglected, spoiled, all in the same classroom as equals. Hearing him say that with an unexpected amount of confidence in his voice struck her like a train. Taken aback, she replied, "Thank you then. I'm sure it will be delicious," finishing her coffee. "I should get ready. Your lesson might start at 10, but I need to be at school before that to prepare." "That's fine. I also like to arrive early. The school library has some papers that aren't freely accessible." He cut her off before she could even suggest dropping him off at the dorms. "You never stop to study, huh? Good grief." Water break. It took Miss Bridges around 5 minutes to get ready. Refreshing her clothes and putting on holographic makeup, she thought about how to explain this entire situation if someone would ask her about it. A short car ride, accompanied by the delicate scent of morning dew on the forest floor, was quite enjoyable. Getting past the forest floor in one moment, they arrived in the city and at the school soon after, an hour before the lessons, when they parted ways. While Yuki took care of his important matters before going to the library, Miss Richards was greeted in the teacher's room by Mr. Miyazaki and the instructor, seemingly waiting for her arrival.
"Miss Richards, we were just talking about your class."
Good morning, Professor, Instructor."
"It's been suggested that your students need a little push to develop themselves further. In about 1 month, Class 1A will be divided into small groups and sent to complete different assignments outside the facility, simulating real situations they might face. Preparations are being made as we speak,"
continued Professor Miyazaki without acknowledging her greeting. "Don't you think it's a bit too early?" asked concerned teacher. "They still didn't fully master their initial control over the influence, and using a catalyst might be similar in principle, but also very dangerous."
"Your input isn't required," injected the instructor. "You are informed because they trust you, and you care about them. From now on, until they leave for the trip, it is your job to prepare them as good as you can. Since the lab is non-operational, you will take over the practice time. Be given training catalyst and do your best. Underground is almost ready for practice. Your effort will result in the safety during the trip."
Understood. Knowing well that there is no arguing with either of them, she sighed with resignation.
"We also wanted to talk about your short trip. If you could explain, why did you leave with Yuki yesterday and brought him back only today?"
Yet once again, the instructor jumped in, not letting the professor finish.
"What they did isn't of any concern. The better question is, why him?" "With all due respect, instructor, but it's highly inappropriate to take a student from school and spend a night with him."
While Miss Richards thought about how to explain the entire situation, someone knocked on the door of the teacher's room. Since the conversation took on a serious tone, at first it was ignored, but it consistently got louder the longer it was left unanswered. Finally, Professor Miyazaki opened the door to see Yuki holding a lunchbox in his hand. "Good morning, Professor. I just came by to drop this off since Miss Richards forgot it earlier." Seeing her nervous and under stern gaze of the instructor, he calmly stepped in and greeted them both. "Good morning, Miss Richards, instructor."
"Uncle Yuki, we were just talking about you," continued Professor Miyazaki. "Can you tell us what the two of you were doing since you left the school yesterday up to this point? Before you say anything."
But today wasn't the best day for him to talk. "Oh, that." Miss Richards was concerned about my health in view of recent events. She asked me to take a break from studying for a day to take a walk with her in the forest to relieve some stress. Unfortunately, I fell ill and passed out, so she had to care for me through the night. He calmly responded, still crossing the line, but in a plausible manner.
"Yeah, sounds reasonable. Still, you shouldn't leave like that without giving anyone notice about it," scolded her action professor. "You still didn't answer me. Why him?" continued the instructor, ignoring the entire explanation from Yuki as if he wasn't even there. "Is it because he doesn't have powers, so you can feel better about your mediocre abilities? Or perhaps you see yourself and your failures in him and are dragged to him?" "Instructor, that's too much!" shouted Professor Miyazaki. "I'm very sorry about that, to both of you, Miss Richards and you, Yuki." But the instructor wasn't done yet. "Don't forget your place, Professor. This is still a military base." While still calm, instructor asserted his place in the hierarchy quite firmly. "And you, Miss Richards, you should really think about the answer, because neither your research nor your abilities granted you a stable position at this school. Ask yourself, do you want to help others, or perhaps yourself through them?" Saying that, he stood up and left the room, brushing past Yuki. Although he didn't care enough to look down at him, the young boy glared daggers at him the entire way to the doors. "I'm so very sorry for what happened here. Instructor only sees this school as proving grounds for a new generation of soldiers. Needless to say, he crossed the line." I'm fine," said Miss Richards, holding back tears. "It's not like he lied about any of those." "Miss Richards, if I may," Yuki took the initiative. "Maybe you are not above and beyond as some might expect from you, but you are honest and hardworking. Not being perfect is a part of being human, which makes you relatable to so many of my classmates. I'm glad we have you." "Thank you," she replied softly. "Now, if you excuse me, I will go to the library to catch up on some reading before the lessons start." Yuki bowed down, and left the teacher's room. Walking down an empty hallway, refreshing ocean breeze accompanied him on his way until it suddenly stopped. Air became thick, heavy, and hard to breathe. Noticing a familiar presence nearby, the young man stopped and calmly spoke into the distance. "For someone who doesn't want to be seen, it's very bold of you to show yourself here." A black shadow figure appeared behind him, wearing a long hooded trench coat that seemed to be dissolving into the air surrounding them. An ashen demonic mask covered his face with enormous fangs crossing one another. From behind it, a pair of red glowing orbs shone through the darkness in place of eyes. Two red horns protruding from the forehead pointed towards the sky, also threatening the world. Smoke like gas filled the surrounding area. "Shadows don't reflect light," he spoke in a low, threatening tone of voice. "You are threading a thin line between breaking your contract. Think before your next actions carefully if you want her to stay safe." I really hope it recorded. Home, Yuki knew exactly how to handle him. It wasn't the first time they met, and surely won't be the last, but there was something that Yuki knew, and Shadow didn't yet. The smoke started to slowly recede as Yuki smiled, proud of himself. "Someone has to take care of the mess you made." "Don't push your luck. Next time I won't come alone if you screw things up." Thick smoke disappeared as the shadow dissolved in the air. Yuki didn't wait a second and moved on towards the library.
He still had few precious minutes to spend in his second home, but it was more of a base of operation. What he could call his home was left thousands of kilometers away, and had somehow lost all meaning. With his goal vaguely in place, that word couldn't be further from what he could reach. Sitting down in front of a smaller screen than the public library has, he typed a few lines of code and leaned back. Everyone made their move. Guess time is up. He pondered. It is time to treat the situation more seriously, as the final countdown has begun. Putting a few more lines in, he connected all of his setups into one, disguised as a security program. With all that in place, he no longer needs to step outside his apartment to gather information for any reason except for optics. At least for now. What the... Truth being told, Yuki was ready. Truth being told, Yuki was ready to move forward with his plan for a while now. He was scared, holding on to hope someone would rescue him. This was a big step with no way of turning back, yet it was necessary. There are things only he could do, scared of what he will lose while also enjoying every last second he has. Clenching his teeth, it was done, beginning of the end. While it would take some time for it to take full effect, some were instantly visible. All the pain and tiredness left his face as his body relaxed slightly. He was still sick, that didn't change, but his body didn't seem as strained by it as before. For the last few minutes, Yuki didn't move a muscle. With eyes closed, he stared at the empty screen. Time quickly passed until the bell finally rang. Taking all his belongings, he made his way to the class. Starting with geography, yet the class wasn't the same. Miko looked rough from yesterday, and from the looks of it, Amy and Jane didn't get much sleep either. Looking at them and the lack of Cephas Hidakis made for a weird feeling to spread. Still, work had to be done, so students got to it. Examining different terrains, Miko sped through the snowy mountains, and even Yuki took over one drone and somehow ended up in the exclusion zone. It didn't take long before the machine got overwhelmed, malfunctioned and crashed to the ground. Still, it proved him with a valuable information. 2 lessons passed quickly and lunch break started. Girls sat together dejected from reality, opened lunch boxes, but the uncertainty of the situation took the appetite away from them. Since Seth is not back, either he skipped school or got caught. Then if he did get into trouble, nobody had contacted them yet. Was it an effort to cover it up by pretending nothing happened? And why did Miko react like that? Even Yuki was acting strange, sitting straight, watching his empty tablet screen placed flat on the desk, no headphones, seemingly not reading anything. A lunchbox pushed to the side was the only normal thing about him. Soon enough, he realized how unnatural it looked and picked the tablet up. Everybody knew instantly that something had happened, but no one was brave enough to guess. Imagine guessing correctly and being put in prison because of it. Not eventful in the slightest, the period ended. And so did the 2 more lessons of common after. While nobody really cared why, Seth was absent and returned to normal. Mick with friends went to their apartments in silence. A little break in the recording. I need a breather. I need to stand up, so please, do give me a second. Oh. 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 It's not good. Ah, it's not going well. Pa, 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 pa. The issue I have right now is I'm not really sure what is causing it. The pain in the hip that's been spreading towards the feet and lower back. It's, I know it's probably the posture, but the only link I would have is because of different things happening lately. I spent last few days more inclined to leave, less inclined to leave the bed. So probably I need a new bed. But before needing new bed, I need new house. So, we'll get a place to rent. Oh, we'll see. Who knows? That's this. That quite good that it happened off the recording, so I could mute. Before, so it didn't break anything. Yeah. Feel like I'm speaking right here, so should be stop my clear facing. Jesus, I need better place for the microphone for everything. Nothing is working, everything is broken. I have no one to talk to. It's the year just started. 2026 just started and everything is going to Rickers, man. It is what it is. Close your eyes. Don't think about negativity. Keep positive. Keep walking. Just keep walking. Just keep moving. Back straight, head high. Keep going. You will get through this. Am I focused enough to... Why am I so big? What is going on? Hello? Did something crashed? No? Nothing crashed? Something didn't... This... I am so tired of everything breaking. But as you can probably tell, the microphone quality is slightly better. I realized that in the last recording. I made some tweaks, changed positions, and it helped. Jesus, my hip is killing me. This is insane. Cricket. Let's send this to the end and we will worry about everything later. The weekend also went by quickly. Amy trained at her sport in the mountains while Jane spent her free time with Miku, resting, talking, and watching movies. Yuki didn't leave his room once, adjusting to the new situation. While bizarre, he cannot let anyone know there is something different about him. Even in the silence of his apartment, without absolute focus, he can get easily overwhelmed by his surroundings. 2 days might sound short, but it was enough. Coming to school on Monday, Yuki was already comfortable enough with the hum of the world and his new perspective. Being first in, this time however, he went straight to the class after his daily detour. Getting there, he sat motionless at his desk for an hour before the other students started to show up. Once people started to come in, his composure suffered slightly, combined with acting naturally. The more time passes, the better his body and mind will adjust, so it was only a minor and temporary inconvenience. Soon enough, the class was filled with the rest of the students. Chatter and laughter filled the room for a bit before the bell rang and everyone sat down. 2 lessons of common started, but again it was weird. Yuki once again shocked everyone. He was listening to the lecture and writing on his tablet. Maybe he failed at blending at this point, but it was easier to copy someone else's behavior than to create his own. Even the teacher observed him quietly for a while, but shook back to the lesson soon enough. Lunch came and everything was back in order. Yuki sat alone, reading. Miko with her friends sat together eating their lunches. Although still a bit quieter and more unapproachable than usual, it was how it used to be. Seth was a thought of the past, maybe even enjoying the lack of his presence. Someone took Yuki's lunch with his allowance, and everybody ate and chatted happily for the next 20 minutes. Miss Richards came to the classroom with the last sound of the bell echoing through the hallway. Torn, she looked at her class, composed herself, and started the lesson. Today we'll start with some unusual news, opened Miss Richards. It took some time, but today we have 2 new students, Bale and Gale. She spoke as 2 new teenagers entered the room, siblings so different from one another that you could never think they were related. It's nice to meet you all, said the girl while bowing down before the class. Bale was short, with long blonde hair, beautiful blue eyes, and the rest of her face covered by a wide surgical mask. Wearing a standard grey school uniform tightly buttoned up to the mask, she instantly struck everyone as weird. Why does she wear that mask? Is she another empty? What is this kid doing here? Whispers all around the class started to interrupt the silence, until she finally broke it. Although my appearance, I have silver power and still have a very weak immune system, so please don't sneeze at me. She smiled with her eyes and continued. Anyway, I'm very excited to learn with all of you, so please take good care of me. Like she could hear every word that was said, she dispelled all the questions with a mature answer. I can attest to that. While she is another exception, I want to remind everyone we are still not certain how underlying conditions affect the powers. Supported her argument Miss Richards. 2 years is a very short time to know everything. And this is my brother, Gale. He doesn't speak, but he is very friendly, so don't be afraid of him. When she directed her hand at him, a Goliath of a man bowed down before the class. Gale was massive, to not understate it. Standing at almost 2 meters tall, built like a tank, with clean, bald head and no facial hair. He looked far older than he really was. Brown was his influence, meaning rocks and everything earthy. Gale didn't care for people. He didn't want the attention either. He was here because of his sister, and she had her own plans. Listening to smarter people and making sure his sister is protected was the only thing on his mind. Life was never kind to her, and his presence didn't help either, but he failed to protect her once, so he won't let that happen ever again. Drowning in the admiration, Bale was ecstatic. Being the center of attention is something she always liked, but in normal life, she wasn't able to enjoy this much. Yet, those weren't the eyes she came here for. Everyone was looking at her, but she couldn't feel his gaze, his adoration, his presence. Why is that? Was she too late? Is he gone already? Saddened, she made her way towards an empty seat near the window with Gale following in her steps. Not giving up, however, Belle still looked frantically around the class, looking for her beloved. "He must be here. I know it." What? The lesson is still going, so please be patient. You can all hang around and introduce yourself after the bell. Miss Richards tried to restore some order in the classroom as well as to give newcomers some space, but it didn't stop everyone. "Hey, my name is Dwayne, but you can call me Dew for short." Tall, brown-haired boy leaned from his desk toward her immediately to introduce himself. "Since we sit close by, you can ask me anything. I'll be happy to help," he said with a smile. "It's not him, disgusting low creature." But from everyone here, only 2 pairs of eyes didn't watch her. "Who is that?" she asked, pointing her finger at the sick boy in the middle of the class. "Him? It's Yuki. I don't think you should bother with him. He's very sick, and it could be dangerous for you to get near him." But she already stopped listening. I'm sorry. "Yuki," she muttered to herself. "Is it you, Yuki? Why won't you look at me? I need to see your eyes, your soul. You aren't mad at me, are you?" Her thoughts rampaged within her head, senseless. "Hey, I really don't." Bay stood up and walked towards the empty desk near him. Dwayne tried to stop her, but Gale grabbed his hand and put him back in his place. "Hey, my name is Bale. It's nice to meet you." Not responding, Yuki was too focused on the text on his tablet to notice her. "What is your name? Could you tell me?" She pushed with persistence. "Yuki." "Yuki? I hope we can become good friends." "Friends, huh? I hope so too." "What are you reading?" "Some notes from classes." "Oh, is it that interesting?" Well, I always mess this part. Later. "Oh, is it that interesting?" Unrelenting, she kept on pushing, growing more and more interesting in him, since he wasn't in her. "Can you look at me for a second?" "Why?" "Just because I asked? I think it will let us become friends easier." She smiled brightly. "Look at me," she ordered him. Long blonde hair, blue eyes, 160 centimeters tall, rather small and delicate body, flat but well-defined ears with attached earlobes, well-groomed, thin eyebrows. "Amazing! But still there are things you can only see with your soul." "Soul." As Yuki got stuck on that wall, Bale was still growing more impressed with his defiance. Was it really him? She couldn't tell. His soul looks at hers, but making him could prove slightly more difficult than she thought. Soul, a word used in preaching, philosophy and romance to describe a part of humanity that's shrouded by mystery, a fleeting part of you that's guiding you to your destiny. Ethereal, yet fragile, unbreakable, but easily chained up, imprisoned and stolen. Was she after his soul, or did it lure her here? Who knows? While the struggle had already begun, the lesson would soon come to an end. Bale didn't want to let it go so soon, but exactly as the bell rang, Yuki quickly disappeared, leaving her in the hands of her classmates. Everyone swarmed her instantly, inviting her to clubs and the extra classes, but she politely declined. It was her first day, she still didn't know where everything was, and so she excused herself. Leaving the classroom with Gale shortly after, everyone went on with the rest of the day. Gale left for his apartment, while Bale thought about what to do now. She lied before. With the information she was given, she already knew the school building and the city plan intimately. Following Yuki might be fun, yet there will be more time for fun later. Going around the city, she spent her entire afternoon roaming throughout the facility. Shopping center, cafes, back alleys, living blocks, and every other place where people might spend time. Bale had another quite amazing ability, a sixth sense perhaps. In a world with influence, a power that isn't well understood yet, there is another ancient belief that cannot be fully explained by any rationality. People could see things they could never knew existed, could find missing people by feeing their belongings, and contact the other side. No other evidence has been found, and in most cases it could be debunked. Still, there is some uncertainty. Whether it was mad rambling or if she could actually touch and see someone's soul was only for her to know. Similar to Jane's sense, but also entirely different. Having that in mind, she looked through the city thoroughly, making it a sort of her territory. For whom was this information? Perhaps to the people who could sense the same, people whom she hated, or maybe those who could be a danger to her and the others she valued. Coming back to her apartment pretty late at night, she threw herself onto the grey bed and buried her face in a white, fluffy pillow. Before she could fall asleep, her thoughts raced through her mind. Is Yuki the one she wanted to find? Can she convince him to her side? Will she have enough time? She doesn't plan on sticking around for long, and when the time is up, she might need to cut her losses and move on. So, as much as it might sting, she already sneaked in without many issues, making everyone think it was of their own merit. There was no doubt in her mind that she could get out without any problems. Her life was never fair to her, but it taught her well how to deal with it. Running away, hiding, fighting back, conniving, manipulating, even maiming. She became what others, while unintentionally, thought her to be. Yet still, she had a soft spot for people suffering the same rough fate as she once did. Years passed on her deliberation until she finally fell asleep. It didn't leave her with many hours of rest before she had to wake up and prepare for the next day. Dressing up in sports clothes, ready for the first lessons, she locked into her new, temporary reality. While Belle garnered a lot of attention in her first days in school, she ultimately gravitated towards Yuki, as he was an enigma and they both shared some similarities. He never pushed himself onto her, as the rest of the class did, and was acting the purest in his interest, which was, unfortunately for her, minimal. On the other side was Amy, who welcomed her with skepticism. There was something about her that didn't seem right from the start. Small, sick, frail, but this time with a normal set of powers. A big coincidence. Yet she could pull all of that aside if she proved her wrong. During class hand-to-hand practices, Amy was left without a training partner since Seth and his goons were missing. Quickly proposing a solution to test the new blood. Will she provide something useful or be a failure just as Yuki? But I don't want to, Belle opposed the idea with a childish demeanor. I'm sorry, Belle, but you need to participate in the training. I can assure you that if by any chance you get sick, we have the best medical equipment in the world. Yeah? That's why Yuki is so sick? Yuki is a different case, replied the teacher, slowly getting sick of her stubborn behavior. Why her? Not only she's the top of the class, but she's also 3 times my size. Don't you think it's a bit unfair? It's just practice. We don't take scores. Unless you are afraid to lose, scoffed at her Amy. I promise you, I won't hurt you or go too hard. Fine, said Belle, displeased, and stepped onto the mat. While she still acted the same, Amy's arrogance was something she couldn't bear. At that moment, everything stopped. All eyes were on them, expecting a sensational battle from a prodigy and a rising star of the academy. Coming head to head in the middle, both of them got ready. While Amy still intended to go easy on her, Belle had other plans. Just for the record, it's not you that needs to hold back, she whispered right into her ear. Quickly after the teacher swung his hand, Amy found herself lying on the mat, face down. No one noticed what happened. From the outside, it looked like Amy walked forward and just fell. In fact, it was only a little bit of force that Belle used to stop her foot and pull her on, throwing her out of balance. Simple technique, but her speed and efficiency was unbelievable. See? Said Belle, while extending her hand towards Amy. You don't need to worry about me. While she took her hand to stand up, Amy was still stunned. There is no way her judgment of Belle could be this off. Incompatibility in their fight was obvious, since Belle used her own weight and momentum against her. It didn't take her long to recover herself. Being a prodigy isn't always about being the best. It's also about quickly thinking and analyzing mistakes to improve upon. Belle was fast, so as long as she stabilized herself more and caught her, she could easily beat her. She was right though, there was no need to hold back. Once again, the teacher swung his hand and both of them clashed. Once again, Belle tried to throw Amy off balance, but when she was unsuccessful, she kept her distance, waiting for an opening. Amy had the upper hand. Coming slowly towards her opponent by having a firm grip on Belle was a challenge in of itself. Throwing a messy punch forward was enough, however, for Belle to try to use its momentum. Being fully prepared for that, Amy tried to pull her with, but once again she was fully prepared for the counter, grabbing Amy's arm and twisting it behind the back, but she wasn't strong enough to make her submit. Before she could bail out, however, Amy grabbed her by the leg and pulled her from her back.
Throw!
A voice of unknown origin spoke to Amy, making her lose all of her control. With a smooth motion, she threw Bale at Yuki with all her strength. "Watch out!" shouted Bale, but Yuki was too deep in the reading to notice something was going on. With a loud thud, both of them landed on the outer wall of the gymnasium. Belle took most of the impact onto herself, while Yuki landed safely in her arms. Screams and shouts resonated through the room, as it wasn't unheard of for Amy to lose her cool during the practice, but for the first time against someone so much more frail than her. Trying to explain that she didn't mean it was pointless, as she never hid her opinion about Bale and Yuki alike. So, this would be it. Although of some abysmal grammar in this part that I only noticed like a week ago, which is already very too late to fix for the book. And some crazy repetition. Yeah, it's starting to get serious. Like, this is about 35,000 words mark of the story. 31,000, yeah. So we are at 6 parts done. There are 10 more parts to be done. 10 more weeks. Probably by the end of the March we will be done with it. The entire book will be out on the YouTube side of the story. Again, if you like the book, go for it, and it's not like you need to buy the book. I would appreciate you if you just watch the audiobook, come by to the stream and hang around. Maybe leave some comments, give me some feedback on what I can do, what I can improve upon, and other things. Not just leaving a comment, watching the video, listening to it, and engaging with the stuff is really enough. I'm not forcing anyone to buy anything. Even if I was, the book is priced for $1, and it will remain at this price because both I'm not this established author, and I don't think books are a luxury that should be paid for. But the only difference between ebook being $1 is yeah, that's like give me 30 cents. If you want to, then go for it. I will be running some promotions probably later on, but with paperback being a lot more expensive compared to $1, that certain things that you have to do to publish on Amazon. Never mind, I won't go into much details. Paperback is more of a collector's item, I think. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent again. I'm speaking out of my ass about everything that's not relevant to what I wanted to say. Book is out, it's done. Can't wait to end of the batch until the end. There's ebook. If not, come by the stream, engage with me. Let's have a conversation. Listen to the ebook, the audio stuff I'm doing, and let's create a fun community that will support each other. That will be a dream come true. But yeah, anyway, I like this chapter. I really do. I think this is the place where everything starts to fall into place. Like you started to realize many things that you've been seeing, but very was oblivious to. Put my headphones in so I can listen to some music now as I stopped reading. It's many things that you've been oblivious to that you noticed and were happening before you, but you didn't really connect the dots. Or at least that's my hope. That's how I wanted it to be. And as I said before, I kinda screwed the things up with the book being weirdly having weird pacing. Oh, sorry. The book having a weird pacing that basically first 25,000 page words are an absolute slog with low stakes and real no idea what the main goal is. Now the stakes are ramping up almost in the middle of the book. And yeah, but to be fair, the book made me happy. So if nothing else, it already is a good thing that I made. I completed the project. And even publishing the book was a great journey. I have an idea to make a short length video about my experiences with publishing, self-publishing on Amazon, and in general writing the book from beginning to an end, like focusing on the most tiring, most difficult things about everything. And when I say it's short format content, short form content, I don't mean shorts. I mean like a 10-15 minute essay ish thing. Like talking about normal my experiences with the book. I don't know. I don't really have many things planned, to be fair. To be absolutely honest with you, I created this YouTube channel to make it a way to promote my book. That was the primary function. And I thought about streams with author, like someone you can talk to and ask questions instantly while reading and enjoying the project together would be a fun idea. And I still think it's a fun idea, but I don't know. I guess I was expecting a little bit too much. I wanted to explode, to be big, and I forgot that you need years for everything. Not to be salty over other unjust things, but yeah. In general, I thought about it like Vision of a Granger, I guess. It got over proportion, and yeah. I'm still committed. I'm not going anywhere. As I said, the break was before I got overwhelmed, because I got overwhelmed. It was difficult. I ran into some problems. I started stressing. I focused entirely on reading through the book. And editing and making the shorts and expanding the channel. And it somehow got the priority over finishing the book, which was left in the gutters. I had to really take break for the month to pull my pants up to finish the book entirely and make it reach the end finally. Reach the closure. I still cannot fully say it's closed, like the project isn't really done yet, because the project probably won't be done until I finish the audiobook still. I cannot get my full closure as I wanted to. But I got some kind of a relief. I guess. What we'll do with the channel, I don't know yet. What type of content you can expect, I have no clue. I think I rambled about this before. I'm not really a gamer. I have played a few games here and there, did some stuff, but I didn't play many games. Maybe I will revisit them, maybe I will not. Who knows? I'm not really too sure. People who stream games, they are in love with one particular game, something. Everyone has something unique that they can produce that people catch and praise them for. For me, I hope something unique would be the creativity. Something someone would spot it in the book. Although the flaws, that will be something that could be taken off from it. Out of it, will make it distinct, worth the $1 price, I guess. Also wondering how I can turn writing into something interesting on stream. And I don't really see it to be that interesting. Maybe I can do maybe I can do streams when I use some assets for shorts. I can do streams when I do shorts to showcase like the basics of the DaVinci Resolve, the program I'm using, or something like that. Not like a problem with me is I'm jack of all trades. I learn medium level quickly. Become instant at things very quickly. But I'm not good or proficient at anything. To a degree it sucks, but it's what it is. You have to accept yourselves for who you are. And with enough effort, and consistency and trainings, you can become proficient. But I never reach it in anything apart from one thing that I'm keeping secret. Until it won't be a secret, but when it won't be, then it won't be, and you will know. So, I don't know, I feel like I'm talking like this. To be honest, honest opinion, it's kind of the way I speak, but I really try to be honest about everything. So before I become people talk, love to let everyone know there's a rule of three in the stream. I won't lie. I will always be honest. I will never lie. That's for 3 times. I have one lie planned, which isn't really a lie, it's a fun idea, but by the explanation, it's a lie. So yeah. First one, obviously, improvise, you can tell. It is what it is. Third one will be, I don't know. I'm giving myself some breathing space. So I have a space to make a mistake. But I hate lying. I feel like many problems and conflicts could be resolved just by talking to someone and being honest. Many conflicts could be resolved before they even escalate. The situation can be de-escalated. Anyway, was that something else? No, I don't really think so. But again, to reiterate, I'm really glad to be back. I did a lot of work. It's been fun to some degree, tiring to some degree, but I'm glad to be back. It's been fun. The book is done. I'm proud of it. Did I do a good job? 50-50. Could be better, could be worse, but I still did it and I'm proud of it. Your opinion and rating doesn't change the fact that I'm proud of what I did. Yeah, it's been eating away at me to know that this is the next part of the story. Like everything starts to go. And from here on out, I feel like next 8 parts will be 8. Next part will be very engaging. I like them very much. Very like I like the story a lot. It's pleasant to watch, read. Yeah, okay. It's pointless. Key points. I'm glad to be back, even if I'm not swimming to anyone, even if nothing comes out of it. I'm back. We'll finish this. I will have fun. I will keep learning, and I will become better at many things that I'm doing right now over the course of the next few months, I guess. Then we will see. Maybe after this one is done entirely with audiobook, maybe we can start working on learning on improving my 2D model. Or maybe we can do some fan fictions for the VTubers. I know, I watched a few VTubers, like, I've fallen off for a while now. It's been a while. Few things happen, I've been busy, depressed. So I've fallen off. I don't know if many things changed. But there is a story I wanted to write for a particular streamer a while back. And I am unsure if her demeanor on stream changed a lot. So the story might actually be out of place at this point. But I will do my research, we'll see. Maybe we'll do something like that. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for looking at the stream and thinking around with me, giving me the benefit of the doubt and some time of your life, some time of your day. I hope you have fantastic. I hope you had a decent week. Didn't have to be great. I hope it wasn't the worst. And I wish you the best. I wish you a great weekend. I hope you have fun, you will be healthy, and you will spend the time as you want. Peace.